Hey everyone, thank you once again for tuning into the iConis podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Barry 3D, and today we're going to get down to some stealth, some parkour, and where it should be. We are going to talk about Assassin's Creed. Hey everyone, thank you once again for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. Don't let the show be a secret. As I said, this is Barry 3D, and we're going to jump into Assassin's Creed. Now, I know Assassin's Creed has been a video games that's been going on, it seems, forever. The first game came to light in 2007 by Ubisoft, which is a company in Montreal, my hometown. Gotta love it. And they came up with the concept of Assassin's Creed of what we know it. And so Assassin's Creed has spanned into full out multiple games and sequels on all platforms. We've had our side scrollers with Assassin's Creed India, China, and Russia, and those have their own story, but the characters still link back to the main body of Assassin's Creed. And I've played quite a lot of them. I haven't played every single game, but I did play those 3 side scroller ones. I did play the very first one. I did play the Ezio series, and so forth and so forth. And of course, they span into their own series of comic books, which I became a huge fan of. So I know the earlier ones had some great stories, and it gave me the stories outside the Aramis. So a lot of times, you know, Desmond is the main character, and he gets kidnapped. He's a bartender. He's descendant of Ezio and Altair, and he gets kidnapped by Abstergo Industries, and he gets put into the machine, the Animus, and they unlock his DNA to get those genetic memories of his past ancestors who were assassins, where they hid pieces of Eden, and they're looking for those artifacts. And it's a battle between the assassins, right? The Brotherhood of Assassins, which is based off a real life group that has existed in history. And of course, the Templars, the Knight Templars. So these two fractions start going at it. Of course, the Knight Templars, as we see in history, are seen more as good guys that got shafted. But in here, you find out they have more ulterior motives. So the Knights Templar, and it's kind of interesting. They use real life locations. They take real parts of history and they put their own spin on it for the series of the games. So why do I like the comic books? First and foremost, the comic books give me more story outside of what the video games gave us. The video games, the character gets in there, you get into the Animus, you get tossed into the past at different locations to unlock those memories. But in the comic book, they already kind of just use those as one page of saying, this is what happened in this kind of game, in this storyline. Well, this is what happens in present day real world. And this is where we go forward with that to find out what happened, how the assassins in modern day get from one location to the other location, how they're dealing with the Templars, Abstergo, and trying to find the pieces. And it's a big chase around the world, which I totally enjoy. So I know Assassin's Creed did come out with its live action movie with Michael Fassbender. Forgive me if I pronounced the last name wrong. And, you know, it was okay. It was okay. I think, you know, for some things that were a little bit over the top, I was excited for it. I enjoyed it, but I think there's aspects that could have been better. I know there was a little short film, 28 minutes long, that you can find probably online at this point. And it really got into the essence, the character, the costumes and all that for Assassin's Creed. And of course, one of my friends was in one of the scenes, Paul Ashley. If you look for him, he did the episode with us where we talked about Grimjack. He was in that particular episode. Being said, I'm not trying to rehash all the history of Assassin's Creed. It's a lot to do, but here's my point. One, I would love to see an Assassin's Creed movie series. Give me a series. Give me a streaming series of Assassin's Creed right now. And can it come back and be fulfilling? I believe absolutely yes. When I dig into the archives and I read all the books and I see how they've gone with their different perspective, I've said this before a couple of times amongst friends. One, I want to see an Assassin's Creed game that takes place present day, no more in the past. Or if you're going to bring it, let's bring it up. I know we've dealt a lot, like, you know, medieval times, the Vikings, the origin of the Assassin's Creed and so forth, back in ancient Egypt, you know, Jerusalem, all of that. I would like to see where, for example, where Assassin's Creed Russia went, where it was more during, you know, that time period. Give me Assassin's Creed during World War II. Give me Assassin's Creed during the Vietnam War. During those great conflicts when that was happening, they can still go around, maybe add those elements in there. And I think that would build more to the story, because the assassins and the Templars have been fighting for centuries upon centuries, trying to get, you know, one hand over the other, and then see how that plays out into present day. I would like to see an Assassin's Creed that takes place in 2025 or 2026, with today's technology, with the assassins still going around. So what would they look like? I mean, of course, we'd still have the hidden blades. That's got to be in there, but the assassins would be walking around in hoodies like I like. You know, the Templars would be in suits. They would be cell phones. There would be cars. There would other ways to get around and really make it more of a tangible environment. And the stories that we can have present day would be great. Here's the story that I really want to speak to. The one we don't know. So for years, we know the assassins and the Templars have been going back and forth. The story that has not been told in my eyes is the one that would be them getting the technology together to unlock past DNA memories, the Animus. How did that come together? It was a race on both sides to get that piece. So what did they do before? Who discovered this technology as a possibility? And then how did that play out for both groups trying to get that together to see how that would play out in the long run? That is the story that we need. And that would take place present day, not in the past. Can you imagine the two factions running back and forth, trying to find their scientists, trying to unlock this? And then, of course, we know there's the other aspect that we don't talk too much about. And that seems to be this outer worldly aspect. It started off as Eden. Then you found out there were aliens, and then they came forth. And there's a couple of them that are key to this whole story for where it was going. Did someone find some past technology at one of these sites beside the apple, beside the staff? There's a disk out there. Did they crack a code and find some past technology that put them on the path of saying, we can build a machine that can unlock, like Ancestry.com. We can get you, take your DNA, get your genetic memory from a person in your bloodline from centuries ago, and then watch the world through their eyes, through you. Now that is the story of I want to see for Assassin's Creed. Modern day, how did the Animus come about? Did someone find some technology for them to kind of their own way to go back in the past and bring it today? So that I think would be one, either a cool game, two, an amazing online, when I say online, I'm talking maybe a series, right? A movie wouldn't be able to put that all together in one shot. The movie might kick it off, but I think a series, on one of the streaming services that have the budget to do it and do it properly. I'm looking at you, Amazon, I'm looking at you, Netflix, I'm looking at you at Disney Plus, whoever's going to do it, or someone else, Hulu, whoever's going to do it. And that's where I think Assassin's Creed should come in, and that's how it should go. But keep in mind, stick to the roots. Let's not get too far away like the movie did, where the Animus had you flying, crawling up walls to the side. That's not needed. You can just lie down and let it be. As the Beatles would say, let it be, let it be, let it be. And on that, this is Barry from the iConis podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And now it's time for me to check my Ancestry.com. You see? No, still the same.